Okay, on my table here I have the PXN A7 shifter, and I'm sure you can establish this is a budget shifter, but it does have quite an interesting feature. Now at the end of the shifter we have a cable, of course, and we have a socket with a collar on there, and we have 3 cables. So let's go through these because this is where it becomes quite interesting. So the first cable we have is a USB cable, so you can plug it directly into your PC, plug and play shifter. No drivers required, so yeah, pretty simple and obvious sort of stuff. Now the second one is if you have a PXN wheelbase, and at the end of this cable is an RJ socket, and that goes into that brand of or model of wheelbase, a PXN one. And this final one, which is really unique, since this makes this shifter compatible with a Thrustmaster wheelbase, which is absolutely unique outside of Thrustmaster actual shifters that I've ever come across. So as you can see on that side, that is a socket that goes, a plug that goes directly into a Thrustmaster wheelbase. So yeah, quite fascinating. It's a budget shifter, but with an added value feature. Okay, so let's have a tour around this thing. Plastic bodied, of course, hard plastic, but feels quite solid and actually a fair amount of weight to it. So that's quite a good sign. There's no hard mounting points. We just get this table clamp, which let's quickly open it up so you can get an idea of how wide this jaw opens up to. And it's like a 2 and a bit fingers wide. So we do get some rubber feet and a foam piece there to hold it onto your tabletop. We have a hard plastic gear knob, and we get 6 gears, but it's actually 6 gears plus 1. Now this works just like the Logitech driving force shifter, where you get a reverse gear because you can push down the actual gear lever. It's spring loaded, and you can see it on here actually. 6 gears and reverse, though there's no extra position here. It's actually under 6 gear again. And what you do is, to get to the reverse gear, you pull down, and that is 7th gear, because there's basically like another ledge which latches onto the gear lever, which is another switch. So that would be normal sort of 5 to 6, like that, and then get to 7, you or basically reverse gear, you hold it down like that, and that will be reverse gear. So you should be able to see it's slightly higher than that position, because it is basically 2 positions under the same gear gate. So that's pretty neat, really. So you know, they've incorporated 7 gears into here, 7 gear positions. If we take a closer look at the top plate here, inside is a fabric cover to prevent any debris falling in, which is always good, and we have a metal top plate. But underneath is also a plastic gear gate as well. So we've got a metal top plate and a plastic one underneath, and you can see it's slightly sort of offset. So you're not hitting metal, you are hitting plastic. So that's going to absorb a bit of the noise rather than metal on metal. Another thing I've just noticed here, which is a really interesting and useful feature that I haven't seen on any other manual gear shifter I've ever used, and that is this. Let me just bring it in closer. It looks like this gear lever is in 2 pieces, but what we have is a rotating collar over the top. Now I've used plenty of shifters with this type of gear gate design, and occasionally what can happen is when you're shifting a bit quickly and not concentrating, you can sometimes, when you're shifting up or down, you can hit one of those fingers, the entrance to the actual gear itself, and it's a bit of a jarring sort of smash, and yeah, it can be a little bit rough. But by having a rotating collar on the end, rather than it catching, it just rolls around. So it's a lot easier to locate the gear positions, even if you are smashing these fingers. That's really useful. And you know, having this on a budget cheap shifter is actually really impressive that they've added, you know, this on there just to improve the function of the shifter, because it is actually a nice feature. The tension is not strong, but there is a very distinct notch, which is pretty obvious. So in gear to neutral, and then neutral to a gear, there is a pop. So that's okay. Nothing too unexpected for a budget shifter really, but it's not too bad. But you know, it's a fairly light feeling shifter, but I wasn't expecting too much from this. So that seems, I guess, you know, good enough to do the job really. You can see we have two buttons here. So one is labelled P, which I have no idea what that's for, and we also have one labelled low and high. Now, I haven't tested this, but I'm going to speculate, and I think I'm probably right about this, is if you are into truck simulation games which have, like, you know, tons of gears, then that's what this button's for. Okay, so let me explain it in some sort of simple way. Is imagine that these gears are labelled 1 to 6. Those are the numbers that the game recognises as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and those are the inputs. Now when we press that and go from low to high, it relabels the buttons 7 to 12. So instead of that being 1, that will now be 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So essentially giving you 12 gear positions by switching that button from low to high. So 1 to 6 and then 7 to 12. Does that make sense? Anyway, I hope it does, as that is my best explanation. And there it is, my first look at the PXN A7 budget shifter. Not bad, quite a few features there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, guys. And there we go. So I'm going to end it now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you found this one useful, and I'll catch you next time. And until then, happy simming, and bye-bye.